Okay, I think that's everything sorted there. I'm just going to turn down the music on my end. In fact, I'm going to turn the music off because I can't actually edit with that on, sadly. There we go. Let's get that off. Okay, chat's open on the left. Alright, I will now show the screen. Let's see. No, not that one. I want to hit that one. There we go. Okay, let me just turn myself up a little bit more. A little bit quiet, I think. Try that. How am I sounding? Is everything sounding good, or do I need to turn myself down a little bit? Let me know. Let's see what's this. It's been a while since I've tuned into one of your videos. I think you had done one on the Skinwalker Ranch before. Let's see. I showed my boyfriend your Sacramento Vampire video, and wow, the detail was disgusting. I love it. Oh god. Hi, Tom. Everyone say hello to Sizzleflake. He's a very good friend of mine and an Australian nutter. I didn't do one on Skinwalker Ranch. You might be thinking of... I got corrected. It's the Anik vampire. I'd say Alnwick because I was basing it on an old English saying. I can't remember if it was Anglo-Saxon or not. Either way, I cocked that one up a bit. But no, it wasn't Skinwalker Ranch. And I'm glad you like the vampire at Sacramento. I've still got to do part 2 of that one. It's definitely a disturbing case. Right, I'm going to play the audio. Now, I do need to know how this will sound because I'm currently having a glitch with Premiere Pro, and it's sadly quite a common glitch, where because I have compression and an equalizer and many other effects on my narration, it causes quite a nasty audio glitch to happen when the clip starts. So let me know if it's too loud, and if it is, I will turn it down so I don't blow your bloody ears off. Right, so it's going to be right here. There we go. Bloody awful. Wish I could fix it, but I can't. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was that on your ears? It's a sick case. What I heard about the first time, I was shocked and appalled how Richard fell through the system and lacked the proper support. Yeah, he did. There was a lot that went wrong with his case. His mother, I think, was one of the worst examples when she ended up weaning him off his medication when it had been working, and he even started to get some form of a regular life. And then obviously she took him off it, and it just, yeah, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. So yeah, how bad was that? Extremely loud, ear splitting. Sounded okay. Well, what I'll do is I will turn it down just a little bit. Let me just check what my audio is on Stream OBS. Okay, it's about half. Okay, I'll turn it down a little bit more. There we go. Right, okay, my dog has been fed. He's now wiggling at me because he wants a treat. Yeah, the reason why I wanted to turn it down is because it's going to happen a lot. All these breaks on this timeline right here, these are all my narration. And every time there is a break, so here, even these little ones here, there'll be some form of audio glitch. So I want to make sure I fix that. Right, so what we have here so far... Hang on, Junior, I'll feed you in a minute, mate. So there is 15 minutes so far. Now this is currently the length of part 1. I wanted to do the full episode. However, because I still have the actual massacre to do, which is this section here, as you can see, there is still quite a lot needed to be done compared to the first part. I realized I couldn't do that in a week, especially the amount of artwork that needs to be done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to release part 1 of Pizzetto, and I'm going to spend next week working on part 1 of the Camerata massacre. So by the end of October, fingers crossed, you will get 2 episodes, each consisting part 1 of the cases I'm working on. I believe I can do it. I believe I have everything set up for Camerata to pull that off. If not, I will hate myself. But I do personally believe I do. Oh, it just means next week I'm just going to have to work my absolute balls off. So right, I'm going to get my dog a quick treat because he's just had his dinner and he's now wiggling at me. And we shall begin. Oh, lovely bit of water. Right. So I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. And I have returned. Okay, let's get this done. I've faffed around long enough now. Oh, I've noticed since my art live stream, I've actually lost some subs, which was quite sad. I don't know if it was because they weren't happy that I didn't upload a video, or they weren't happy with the artwork, or what. A bit depressing. Let's see, it wasn't too bad, just a quick buzz, and you got this, brother. Okay, here we go. Right, I'm going to play through the intro and see how it's sounding. So, sorry for any quick buzzes. Why can't I not? Oh, I can't hear that. Why can I not hear that? Okay. Preferences, audio, hardware. Come on, Promo Pro. There we go. Okay. One cannot hear. That's working less than 2 seconds ago. Alright. So I have to set it through one of my monitors. Oh, that's the wrong one. This happens sometimes because I'm using 2 monitors. And obviously headphones as well. If you set it up so it comes through one monitor, but then you play with your volume settings out in the corner to switch to your headphones, it gets a bit glitchy, but it should be okay. What about this one? No, that's not that one. Oh, I know what it bloody is. I sat on my bloody headphones and muted them, haven't I? Let's have a look. No, not export. Headphones. No, that's the mic. Speakers, there we go. Alright, so if I hit play, nothing. Unmute. And then... There we go. Sorry. I swear I know what I'm doing. Okay, let me put this around about 40. That should be good length, not too bad. Okay. Also gonna increase my window here so we get a nice view.
This cold winter night on the busy streets of Bogota, the people of this proud capital are coming out in droves to enjoy the city's nightlife as the bars and clubs throw open their doors for the events to come. But tonight is a special occasion for the usual partygoers. Through the haze of cigarette smoke and the mixing sounds of cheering and disappointment, the football game that has most of the country's attention is drawing in the masses as many of the patrons in this small bar order round after round and sit with bated breath.
Tom, shut up. The narrator sounds like you.
Hoping Colombia will be the victors of tonight's match. It's turning into a great evening out for those who need a break from their usual 9 to 5. It's also a temporary escape to get their minds off of the current conflict and constant deluge of reports.
Right, I'm thinking here, because obviously we've got this kind of relaxing sort of atmospheric music we've got going on here. I think there needs to be a slight music sting change. Obviously, I'm showing quite a violent scene. I literally drew this earlier today, probably a couple of hours ago. So I'm thinking that there does need to be a change here in music, or at least at the very least a musical sting. So I'm going to open up Epidemic, which I have. Let's see. So there are music tracks, and let me actually get this on a lower separate tab. So look at chat and go through some music and get some atmospheric chats. Atmospheric chat, atmospheric music. All right. So I'm thinking something, because I've got a track further on down the line that sounds like this, which I'm very happy with.
Notice how some of them seem...
Hold on, let me mute this. There we go. So I'm thinking something along the lines of this, that very drone sound. See, I'm trying to think what that'd be classed at. That's music. Let's see, genres. I need to find something as similar to that. I mean, I could reuse that track. The problem is, because it happens very quickly after, so obviously if I put it from there to there, it wouldn't really work. So I want to go for, let's see, where's atmosphere? Sorry, let me just pull my mic a little bit closer. Electronic dance, children, children music here. That'd definitely be work. Music, music. Drones. Here we go. Low non-rhythmic drones. This might work. And then we want to go for something. Right, okay. So obviously you're going to hear these as well. I can't even bloody hear that. Oh, it's because I got muted. Yeah. How's this sound? No, that kind of sounds like I've just walked into a Buddhist temple. No. See, can I change the stem so it hasn't got that bell? No, that's just the bell. I don't want to isolate the bell. So glad I got sent home from school and I'm able to watch this. Do I ask why you got sent home from school? Let's see how does it sound. See, it starts off nice. It's kind of got the top. Well, to be honest, it doesn't need to last that long. I might be able to just modify that. And then it kind of goes a bit too happy. What's this one sound like? Oh, I like that one. Okay, that's better. A little bit unsettling, bit of a spine chiller. And then it gets real. This happens to me all the bloody time. I'm listening to a song, I love the intro, it starts to build, and then it just goes on for a completely different direction. It pisses me right off. How's this one sound? No, that's kind of a bit too fantasy for me. Let's see. Probably Roundhouse the Kid. Oh fuck no! Sorry. If I knew that was gonna be static, I wouldn't have clicked that one. No, don't like that one. Yeah, oh, no, what am I doing? I might as well just show you this. There you go. So this is where I get all of my music from. It's a website called Epidemic Sound. £10 a month for me. This is basically what I use my Patreon money and any AdSense I do make for the channel, so I can put it back into it. So definitely a good investment. No, I mean, imagine that's kind of a nice track. I might be able to use that later on. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's get that track. It's not like the full mix. I'm gonna add that to the edit. I don't know when I will use that, but I quite like the piano. Put that in. I'll drag that further on down. I do have a lot of bloopers on here. I don't know where I've put. I think they're like over here somewhere. I always save my bloopers and put them in the uncut episode. Let's see, where was I? Last one I clicked. I don't know. I've lost myself. Normally Epidemic tells me which one. Oh, there you go. No signal received. Excuse me, I'm about to do something disgusting. I'll do it away from the mic. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, okay. That's got a nice... No, and it immediately goes too hopeful. See, I can actually change the genres here. Let's go dark. Something... See, dark and fear. No, again, it's them bloody chimes. Okay, it's a bit James Bond, The Conjuring, but it might work. Let's try it. Yeah, I'm curious. Let's try it. Could work, or it could be bloody awful. Let's see here. So I want it to go along with the track that's currently playing. So we've got the main music track there, and I want this one to go with it at the same time. So I'm going to fade it in. I want it to be obviously a little bit lower. Let's say about -21. And then we want it to fade out as well. So let's do that. Right, how does this sound? Oh god, I need to put a longer one on that. That needs to be quieter. Almost. I can kind of see what I'm going for. Let's see, what if I fade it into the actual main track itself? So this is the intro, so obviously I need to be very particular on how I do this. Okay. And then the music will kick back in. Right. Okay, that works. Now what I do want to do is here in the narration, I come in too quickly and it ruins the atmosphere. So I do need to actually pull the entire edit across because timing is everything in these episodes. Excuse me. So I need to pull this across. All right, now I need to figure out, I can't remember how many seconds it is. I'm sure they say you should always wait 3 heartbeats or something like that. There is an editing trick, but I can't remember what it is. They say it's normally a couple of heartbeats you wait for before the next scene begins in these sort of situations.
The country's attention is drawing in the masses as many of the patrons in this small bar order round after round and sit with bated breath, hoping Colombia will be the victors of tonight's match. It's turning into a great evening out for those who need a break from their usual 9 to 5, but it's also a temporary escape to get their minds off of the current conflict and constant deluge of reports of extreme violence tearing the country and its people apart, all courtesy of the Medellin and Cali cartels.
Yeah, okay, so I need to give that, I'll extend that, I'll fade that out. I'm thinking maybe doing a fade out and fade in, just a nice simple fade we'll probably do here. I don't think I need to do any fancy transitions. There we go. I would do a match cut, but I didn't think ahead on that. Otherwise I would have done some match cut with the artwork.
Of the Medellin and Cali cartels.
Okay, I want to extend that.
Cali cartels.
Almost.
Tearing the country and its people apart, all courtesy of the Medellin and Cali cartels.
This is the only problem with Premiere Pro's default fade out is it's really quick when it does it. I do know there is a method you can do to stop that. The problem is you got to set it up in the audio track mixer if I recall, and that just requires a lot of ball like. So I need to try and find the timing here just right.
Cali cartels.
Maybe I'm trying to think, maybe a smash cut here, and a smash cut is literally where actually it's kind of hard to just Google smash cut. It's really hard to explain. Did you take classes for editing and stuff, or did you self-teach it? I've self-taught it all. Editing I learned or taught myself, and believe me, let me just say this, I'm sure if there was a professional editor watching right now, he would bitch slap me with a salmon, because I'm sure I'm doing so many amateur mistakes, but I'm competent enough, at least I personally believe I am. But no, I learned about all different cutting techniques and all those sort of things like that to help when I had my gaming channel. My biggest weakness, sorry, for editing is actually my audio. I feel like personally I have fixed that issue with this episode. So for example, those of you who've been hearing the narration, I would personally say I've finally cracked the vocal effects, like the equalization, the compression, especially compared to Richard Chase, where I over compressed to hell. And the reason I did that is because I have a gap between my front teeth and it causes a really sharp S sound, and I've done a few techniques with my microphone plus with the editing to stop that from hurting people's ears. So yeah, please let me know if I've fixed the audio in that regard. I really hope I have. Right, okay, so if I were to try and do a smash cut, sorry, I need to clear my nose again. I'm gonna mute my mic so you don't have to hear this. There we go. Well, that's a good time to mute my mic and my text and phone went off. Let's see. I won't read this out loud. Oh, my wife is very happy. She just got a full-time contract at her job, which I'm very, very happy for. Sorry, just need to text back. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I will do my best to answer them. Except for you, Tom. Don't you ask any questions, because I know exactly what you're like, buddy. You'll ask me the most awkward questions I can think of. Yes, anyone who is just joining, I am trying to get this episode, or at least part 1 of this, done as quickly as possible. And you will have this at the end of October, as well as Camerata Part 1, if all goes to plan. I did want to release this in full, however, sadly, I do not have enough time or shots to release it in full. And I done a quick calculation, and it will be about 30 minutes long in total. That's including Part 1 and Part 2. So, yes, I'll look forward to finally getting this to you. Let's see. Sorry, I should be good at multitasking, but I'm not. Okay, right, what was that? Right, okay, let's see. I have a couple, not about editing it. Oh, go on then, Tom. If you want to ask questions and make me look like a prat live, go right ahead, buddy. I do it to you.
Of the Medellin and Cali cartels.
But my friend there, Sizzleflake, does have a Twitch. If you do want to watch a Australian fumble his way through games and be a relatively entertaining personality, I would highly recommend you check it out. Ow, my keen ears. Sorry about that.
There are a few overindulgers tonight.
Right, I need to pull the narration in. That starts a bit too quickly, so I need to pull it in by a second or two. There we go. No, you don't Twitch much, but I'm sure you'll get better. Well, not better, sorry. You'll get more into it in the next coming months, my friend. Even if I have to kick your ass into it.
9 to 5, but it's also a temporary escape to get their minds off of the current conflict and constant deluge of reports of extreme violence tearing the country and its people apart.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm actually going to lower this a little bit more. Happens once in a while where you get a really bad one. Right, okay, what I want now is actually I want to get some form of ambience for the warehouse. Excuse me. So if I type in, you can see you can see all my searches. See. So if I type in warehouse, do they have any? Oh, perfect. Abandoned warehouse. How's it sound? That just sounds like a tunnel to me. That's okay. That's I don't want random doors. San Pedro Harbor Warehouse. Deep Bay. Yeah, that will probably add a nice bit of atmosphere. Right. I do wish I had a better understanding of doing Foley work, to be honest. Because I would love in time to do things like I would love, funny enough, it's actually mentioned in the case, but I would love to do a audio drama of something like The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where I get in a bunch of different readers and we each play a certain character, and then I draw the entire story, and then with Foley work and adding in the right sound effects, it's almost like a motion comic, if that makes sense. And I would love to be able to do that, like a really, really high production of these classic stories, and even some works of Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe. But I just do not have the talent, sadly, when it comes to Foley work. And I think I'm a few years away in the art department, but we'll see. Hey Drew, how you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for joining. Right, let's see how the abandoned warehouse sounds.
5, but it's also a temporary escape to get their minds off of the current conflict and constant deluge of reports of extreme violence tearing the country and its people apart, all courtesy of the Medellin and Cali cartels.
Yeah, that works very nice. Got a nice deep bass, so don't have to worry about it clashing with the music track, and I can keep it at the standard volume. I will blend that in. Right, okay, that bit there is done. Actually, what I might do is I might try and match it with the color of the previous scene. How's it look? Very subtle, obviously, because I mainly worked in black and white for this shot. I wasn't actually going to add this shot, to be honest, but it's going to sound horrible, but I know some people that watch my channel watch it not for the deeper understanding of the people I talk about or the psychology, but for the little bit more, let's say, visceral side of the channel. Which is fine. I like disturbing media. I'm a big fan of extreme horror. I have quite a lot of books about the splatterpunk genre, which is low-level crap, let's be honest, but it's fun to read because it's so over the top. I'm also a big fan of the comic book series Crossed, and a few other of that, you know, that similar genre. So I decided, you know what, I'll add just a little bit into part 1 where I can, because I know part 1 is more background on Camp Hotelize Delgado. And because this gentleman here does not exist, and you know, this event, although it has obviously happened, I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter if I go a bit gory on him, because he's just someone I made up. Alright, okay. So this should now flow.
Match. It's turning into a great evening out for those who need a break from their usual 9 to 5, but it's also a temporary escape to get their minds off of the current conflict and constant day.
Okay, something's really loud. Okay, I think it is that. Sorry, I should... This is why I always play these scenes over and over and over again until I just go completely mad, because you get so used to it until... You get so, well, basically, you get so used to a certain shot, you have to go back and listen to it further and further back down the timeline to make sure it flows.
Of tonight's match. It's turning into a great evening out for those who need a break from their usual 9 to 5, but it's also a temporary escape to get their minds off of the current conflict and constant deluge of reports of extreme violence tearing the country and its people apart, all courtesy of the Medellin and Cali cartels.
Yep, it's done. Okay, right, that scene's done. Right, let's find... I do have a smash cut, or at least a similar one here. Actually, it's not smash. Would it be classed as smash cut? I don't know what this would be classed as. I fade out with the music sting, so I don't know what that would be classed as. But I am going to grab that, and I'm going to bring you down here. See, how does a smash cut work here, or does it need to be a softer transition?
Medellin and Cali cartels.
Oh, fuck me. That bloody audio glitch. I wish I could fix it. But that works. Okay, I'm going to pull that back a little bit. And I'm going to mute that just so I can see how this looks. Okay, we need... I might change the music track here. Because I only need the one that lasts... What is that? That is... 15 seconds, 10, 15 seconds. Let's see. Hey Omar, how you doing, buddy? Let's see, what would I say? I watched your previous videos and I like the Suyama Massacre, Yu Yong Massacre, Peter Curtin, Daegu Subway Fire, and the Gordon Cummings videos. Thank you very much, Drew. It's odd for me to go back and see my older videos, especially when I had the rose-tinted glasses on and I thought the dramatic readings, like Unit 731, were the direction I should be heading. Excuse me. But I was still finding my feet, and I'm glad around about, I would say, Om Shinrikyo, or Shinrikyo. I can never remember the correct pronunciation. I think it's Shinrikyo. I'm glad around that point I started to sit and go, do you know what? I need to be more natural. I can't remember who told me, actually. Someone said be more like David Attenborough instead of, I can't remember who it was. Some other narrator that was overly dramatic. And I went, do you know what? You're right. You are entirely right. So I went, you know what, I'm going to go back to my normal voice, which is, as you can hear, this one. And yeah, that's where it went from. Okay, so I want a different music track here. So we need something... I do need to go hunting for another one, which is a bit annoying. I thought I had all my music, but I clearly need another one. I'm thinking... Let's see, I need something calm, but with a sense of tension. Because the next track goes straight into this sort of level of intensity. So something maybe solo guitar. Let's have a listen. Let's see, romantic is always a good genre to go by because you can kind of get that sort of flamenco style, which is very nice. Don't want sad. Don't really want happy. Maybe dreamy. Let's see, what have we got? No, that's a bit too much. You are welcome. The only video I did not like was on Unit 731. It pisses me off that Shiro Ishii and the staff members never paid for their crimes. Sorry to say. No, that's alright. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it, mate. I'm not gonna sit here and go, you have to like me, I'm a YouTuber. No. You know what I mean? To be honest, I showed people in the last live stream, I've actually got sketches that I've done where I want to redo Unit 731. And I'm actually going to redo Unit 731 when in the much later future I cover Nanking, because them two are very connected. There was actually another Unit 731 in the city of Nanking as well during the massacre. So, yes, I won't go too much into that because I don't want to spoil the entire story. Right, what have we got? That might work. That could do it. Let's have a listen. Woobum certainly dig out of the bank. He certainly did. With a fragmentation grenade. That's still one of my one of the cases a lot of people really like. And I'm looking back on it, without tooting my own horn, I'm really proud of that episode. I really think I got the flow on that episode down perfectly. I'm trying to capture that essence with Pizzetto, especially when he walks into the restaurant. I'm trying to capture that fast pace, you know, one after another situation. Right, okay, let's try this one. Music, don't want us to blow anyone's ears off, so what's this track on? That's on -19. What's the other one on? Just so I've got an idea. -26. So let's say -20. Oh, come on, there we go. That should give us a nice amount. And I want it to start early a bit so there isn't too much of a break, so that way you're only technically waiting for half a second. Excuse me. No, I didn't like that. Almost. I just hate Unit 731. They never paid for their crimes. No, they didn't. They did not pay for their crimes at all. Shiro Ishii was also in the Korean War as well, I read. I can't verify it, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But according to what I read, he was on the American side during the Korean War, and there was supposed, once again, evidence of him using his chemical warfare knowledge against the Korean people. Don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I read. Okay. Right, there is something missing there and I can't figure it out. It's you. That's what's missing. You need to come in earlier. There we go. Much different change in tone. But that shouldn't be too much of a tonal shift. Excuse me. Obviously there'll be narration here.
People apart, all courtesy of the Medellin and Cali cartels.
You cut out. You fade out. You kick in. You blow my bloody ears off. Thank you, Premiere Pro.
There are a few overindulgers tonight, attempting to drink their body weight in spirits and lager. Their raucous cheers, laughter, and criticisms of the players.
And that's definitely got better. Sorry, did anything good come out of the evil experiments of Unit 731? Can good things come from something bad? There was a report a long time ago about the frostbite experiments. I'm not sure, and I generally don't know. I believe a lot of the experimentations they done on frostbite was used and helped in scientific data, but again, that's just from what I read. I don't know if that is actually true or if that is just someone, you know, just making something up. they probably did learn some disturbing facts that have gone into the scientific archives and whatever else, but I don't know. I generally don't know. It's all up in the air when it comes to Unit 731. I honestly, it's one of the more. It's so horrific that it just doesn't sound real. But despite what people think, it was, and it annoys me that people don't think it was. Do you know infamous French Indian serial killer Charles? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name because I'll probably screw it up. I recognize the last name, so I'm going to say yes, but the case doesn't exactly ring any bells, although I know the name, so that normally means I've read it. So I'm going to say maybe. That's the best I can give you. Bloody thing.
Soldiers tonight, attempting to drink their body weight in spirits and lager. Their raucous cheers, laughter, and criticisms of the players, claiming they themselves would be better on the pitch, are the loudest in the room. And it's safe to say they're certainly going to be feeling the hangover in the morning, but that is a problem for.
Oh, I want to cut out one of those breaths because it's a bit much.
Feeling the hangover in the morning.
That one, I don't like that breath there. So I cut out a couple of my large intakes of air because oh, that happens a lot. Let's cut that there, pull that there, and then do this. Yeah, I cut out some of my breathing in these videos because, as I have stated it before, I am a smoker, so I have smoker's lungs, which, you know, isn't nice. But, and it's also my own bloody fault. I always want to make sure that I give the listener the best audio I can, and they don't really want to hear me sounding like an asthmatic mouse.
You're feeling the hangover in the morning.
Prepare for a buzz.
But that
or not.
Is a problem for tomorrow.
You can't, you can never gauge that bloody glitch. Alright, so this needs to fade back in. Alright, this shot here, I'm actually going to change because I don't like how this is set up. I have got a shot of a news reporter standing outside the apartment that Campo Las Delgado set fire to. And I want to change it to that shot when I've finished it, so this one's more just a placeholder for now.
It's safe to say they're certainly going to be feeling the hangover in the morning, but
there needs to, oh, vibrating again. I need to cut that in a little bit more. No, not that much. A little bit more.
The hangover in the morning. But that is a problem for tomorrow. As of right now, there is nowhere else in the world they'd rather be. But sadly, their festivities are quickly halted as their joy turns to frustration. During a vital part of the match, the broadcast is interrupted by a report of a madman on the streets, but the rest of the report is drowned out as people voice their annoyance and no one pays attention, as they believe it's just the same old story. The police will attempt to arrest.
Let's cut that one out.
Story.
See, have you heard about Ted Bundy and Champ Ferguson? Ted Bundy was a serial killer. Yeah. What? Champ Ferguson was a. Sorry, I'm confused. Obviously, I know about Bundy. Who's Champ Ferguson?
Old story. Story. The police.
Oh crap! There we go. Bloody audio glitches! I swear.
The police will attempt to arrest the suspect. His fate and crimes will be made public, and everything will return to normal. All they want is for the match to continue.
Right, that needs to come in slower. And maybe some form of transition.
But this is.
Yeah, we want something a little bit softer than that. It's a bit harsh on the eyes. So let's just go for a simple cross dissolve.
But this isn't the same old story. It's not a clash between law enforcement and the Sicarios, or an arrest of a high-ranking official, as they will learn in just a few short hours.
That cuts out. You fade out. Yep, that's still fine. Right, I need to extend my My god, I need to clear my throat out better. I need to extend my particle effects because that cuts out way too early. And I'm going to add a cross dissolve to all of these while I'm here because it looks weird otherwise. Yes, I know, it has repeated frames. There we go. It was a Confederate guerrilla who murdered at least 50 people during the American Civil War between 1861 and 1865. Fair enough. Speaking of that time period, I actually want to cover the events of Levi Boone Helm, who was the Kentucky cannibal. And he wasn't America's first killer. There were two gentlemen who were around during when America was fighting for its independence. And they actually they were two American brothers, and they joined the British side so that they could kill their own countrymen. Fascinating story, very brutal, and by technicality, they are literally the first American killers, which I find is fascinating as a dark bit of history, despite the fact people say H.H. Holmes was the first serial killer, when he wasn't. Not at all. When you look at the frontier era, there were plenty of people, that were killers, and were even technically serial killers. Yes, I did. I mentioned the Cali cartels and the Medellin cartels. Obviously, takes place in 1986. Well, the massacre takes place in 1986. And obviously, during this point, Pablo Escobar and I can't remember the leader of the Cali cartel's name, but they were at the height of their careers, at least through the 70s and 80s. So I felt like it was definitely worth mentioning. Okay, right, so that's going to cut into his part of the restaurant. I do need to get some atmosphere here, but I'm going to play through this section here up to this point here, make sure I have everything needed, but I believe this section is done and I can pre-render. So I'm trying to catch the audio glitch. There we go.
On this cold winter night on the busy streets of Bogota, the people of this proud capital are coming out in droves to enjoy the city's nightlife as the bars and clubs throw open their doors for the events to come. But tonight is a special occasion for the usual partygoers. Through the haze of cigarette smoke and the mixing sounds of cheering and disappointment, the football game that has most of the country's attention is drawing in the masses as many of the patrons in this small bar order round after round and sit with bated breath, hoping Colombia will be the victors of tonight's match. It's turning into a great evening out for those who need a break from their usual 9 to 5, but it's also a temporary escape to get their minds off of the current conflict and constant deluge of reports of extreme violence tearing the country and its people apart, all courtesy of the Medellin and Cali cartels.
Fuck it now.
Few overindulge us tonight, attempting to drink their body weight in spirits and lager. Their raucous cheers, laughter and criticisms of the players, claiming they themselves would be better on the pitch, are the loudest in the room. And it's safe to say they're certainly going to be feeling the hangover in the morning. But that is a problem for tomorrow. As of right now, there is nowhere else in the world they'd rather be.
I need to extend that across. This is looking nearly done.
For tomorrow.
Why does it do that? But when I export the video, it won't do that. It's an editing timeline glitch. It's very common in Premiere Pro when you add in compression and equalization into a audio clip. And of course, I've done that onto my microphone because if I decompressed my microphone and everything else like that now, you'd be able to tell the difference. It's night and day. But for some reason in the timeline it does that weird audio glitch as it turns on all the effects. It's bloody awful, and editing it hurts my bloody ears. There was a film about this massacre called Santana. So yes, there was indeed. I actually mentioned Mario Mendoza because he mentioned he knew Campo Las Delgado. However, a lot of people need to understand Santana's is not biographical. It's inspired by. There are a lot of events in that film and in the book that did not happen, but for some reason, this is why it was such a difficult episode to do. the lines between reality and you know, fiction have been blurred. Like for example, people say that Campo had 2 revolvers when he did not. He says certain people he killed in the apartment when he did not. It's bloody infuriating. But I managed to find quite a few good sources from people who were in the restaurant and managed to give a genuine account of the event. But I actually haven't seen the film. I actually plan on seeing it soon though.
As of right now, there is nowhere else in the world they'd rather be, but sadly, their festivities are quickly halted as their joy turns to frustration. During a vital part of the match, the broadcast is interrupted by a report of a madman on the streets, but the rest of the report is drowned out as people voice their annoyance and no one pays attention, as they believe it's just the same old story. The police will attempt to arrest the suspect, his fate and crimes will be made public, and everything will return to normal. All they want is for the match to continue. But this isn't the same old story. It's not a clash between law enforcement and the Sicarios, or an arrest of a high-ranking official, as they will learn in just a few short hours.
Nope, what happens to that? Oh, okay. Alright, okay, let's extend you. And then thank you, that was lovely in my ears, Premiere Pro. I do love you so dearly. Do that. And then this is going to be, that's on -10. We want to lower that to about -20, I'd say. Oh, no, not 0. -17 will do. Prepare for glitch. Ow.
Down the road from the bar is a fine dining Italian restaurant known as Pizzetto's. It's managed to draw in a reasonable crowd of around 40 people, and the atmosphere inside is one of warmth and tranquility. There is a mixed bag of diners tonight, from families coming out for luxurious meals, couples celebrating their anniversaries, and businessmen.
Okay, this needs to cut off here. Right, this section I actually have the art piece prepped, or at least inked, sorry, which I'll be finishing up tonight. What my plan is during this live stream is pretty much just to have everything in place. So all I've literally got to do is place in 1 or 2 clips, and it's done. But I just want to go for the main edit for now.
Luxurious meals, couples celebrating their anniversaries, and businessmen trying to shake hands on important deals over fine wine. The sound of clinking glasses and soft chatter make for a relaxed setting for this building nestled in the beating heart of the city, but that is soon to change. Waiter Alfonso Guaname has just finished giving a ticket order to the kitchen staff and is enjoying the more peaceful night. After waiting on some other tables, he begins chatting with the other members of staff. He's noticed how some of them seem to be hovering around the bar when the match can be seen playing on a small TV, when he hears the usual sound of the restaurant's door open. He's surprised. The man who has just walked in hasn't been to Pizzetto's in over a year. The elegant grey suit, briefcase, as well as the man's stature make him look quite refined, and the sanguine look he wears causes Alfonso to approach the gentleman with an unconscious smile. After some small talk, the waiter guides him through to the seating area to what used to be his usual spot of table number 5. Sitting down, the
Oh, I want to get rid of that breath there because that was a bit sharp.
usual spot of table number 5. Table number 5. Sitting.
Ow. See, I torture myself for you lovely people. Make my eardrums bleed. Alright, I'm going to need to add in some atmosphere here, like for example restaurant atmosphere of course. And then obviously there's 2 shots that I needed to go there. There's technically a shot that is needed there that I want to redo. This section here is basically done. So we need to get through there. But I'm being very finicky with the intro because the intro is everything.
To be his usual spot of table number 5.
Audio glitch.
Sitting
Yeah.
down, the man orders a rather expensive meal consisting of spaghetti bolognese and a Colombian brand cola from the menu. But he also requests if tonight, instead of sitting at his usual spot, if it is possible, he can be moved closer to the bar. Alfonso, wanting to make sure all of his patrons are happy and seeing how the restaurant isn't exactly overflowing with customers, he allows the man to move to table number 20. The man takes his seat, placing the black executive briefcase beside the chair, and with a calm demeanor thanks Alfonso. After making sure the man has ordered everything he wants, the waiter comments how good it is to see him again, and walks away to hand in the order.
Okay, I want to give that a little bit more oomph here. I'm going to pull you back by a couple of seconds.
Order.
That's really loud. That's why. Ow, fuck now.
Alfonso and the 40 other diners don't know this, but the man currently sitting at table number 20 has already taken the lives of at least 8 people and is currently carrying a .32 caliber revolver and 500 rounds of ammunition in his briefcase. In the next few hours, he will leave the bathroom and turn this tranquil atmosphere.
Those obviously are match cuts. Can I actually get a... Oh, let's see if we can get a frame perfect match cut, because it's... Actually, I could probably get it by one. Don't think I can actually get an exact perfect frame cut match because... Dang good. Oh no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, there you go. Match cut. That's a match cut. Let's see. Oh, Christ, sorry, my kneecap's killing me. Debut. Well done. The Daegu subway fire was an example of a mass murder-suicide gone wrong. Kim Dae-han survived and was sentenced to life in prison, only to die on August 31st. He was indeed. So it's one of them situations where it's almost it's weird with Kim Dae-han. It's like he didn't realise that fire hurts, or his survival instinct kicked in and obviously ran out of the train. There is another case with a similar scenario I'm going to be covering next year, because next year I'm going to be doing a lot of shorter cases that I can get done relatively quickly. Normally ones that don't have too much information on the background of the person, but a decent amount on the actual event. And one of them, forgive the pronunciation, I'm probably going to screw it up, the Taipei metro attack, which was done by a gentleman who went into the subway with a knife, and he ended up waiting until the train went through a tunnel that was 4 minutes long. Obviously the passengers couldn't escape, and he just went berserk and started to attack everyone he could, and obviously they were now trapped in this metal coffin effectively. And it turned into the situation where the passengers started to fight him off with umbrellas, briefcases, all while he was trying to slash at them. And it was such a, again, it sounds like something out of a film, like something you'd see from one of the, the South Korean directors or something, similar to like I Saw the Devil. And I'm going to be covering that one in the future. There's a few I've seen that are similar to that, actually. I think this section is, to be honest, nearly done.
This tranquil atmosphere into one of utter horror, and change their lives forever.
What was that noise?
Forever.
What's that noise? There's a weird... What's that? There's a weird clicking there. Okay, it's the music track. For some reason, that sounds like someone in the music track screwed up.
Forever.
What the hell is that? Okay, never mind. Do you think that Chosun should have been punished more harshly? He only got a 5-year sentence for his negligence. See, that's a really hard one, because he obviously panicked and he took the master key with him. I would have been more forgiving for him if he didn't try to cover up his actions. If he showed more, I mean, obviously the guy has to live with that event for the rest of his life. But the fact that he, or at least the company, tried to hide what he did, that says to me that he deserved more time. And so does the company and people who told him what to do. It's a real hard one. The guy just basically reacted out of instinct, and his instinct was wrong. He should have at least kept the doors open. But then at the same hand, maybe he just at the time completely forgot or didn't realize by removing the master key the doors lock. It's hard to say. I'm kind of drawn in the middle, to be honest. I think I think 5 years does seem a bit too lenient. But then on the same hand, it's like the guy's gonna have to live with this for the rest of his life. I don't think I could do that, to be honest. Knowing how how young, I mean, age doesn't really matter in that event, but considering how young most of the victims were, it's just not good at all. And obviously that's putting it lightly. Right, what was this? Oh yeah, I was trying to sort out this weird musical click. Alright, I need to probably duplicate this track here.
One of utter horror and change their lives.
Right, okay, let's duplicate that there and get rid of that weird sound effect.
Into one of utter horror and change their lives forever.
Let's see, can we make that?
Lives forever.
Now, can we duplicate that one? Will that make it sound better? Because it sounds a bit iffy at the moment.
Lives forever.
No, that sounds horrible. There's got to be a part of this music track I can duplicate.
100 rounds of ammunition in his briefcase. In the next few hours,
That one will probably do it. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. The people are still crying out for justice. Yeah, I know they are. So it was definitely an event that completely destroyed Daegu for quite some time.
Lives forever.
Oh god, why did that go weird? I screwed up the connector there. So I have. There we go.
Lives forever.
Almost. He should have been given a harder sentence, like let's say 25 years. I don't know. I don't know why I don't know why your message got retracted. I don't know. I can't really say if that's good or not. I mean, because 25 years in England, that's life. Well, technically 30 years is life in England, and I don't know. I want to say that I think 25 years is too much for a simple mistake, a survival instinct. But on the same hand, the fact he tried to cover it up, yeah, you know, I don't know if I agree with 25 years. I would probably say 10 to 15. 5 years, I don't think is right. And there goes my phone again. 25 to me just doesn't seem right. Sorry, my wife has just just said, do I want to be naughty tonight and get a Domino's? That wasn't going in another direction, I swear. She's happy. She's got a full-time contract at her work and she wants a takeout. Wants a takeout. Oh, I could really go for a Domino's actually. A real craving for one. It's 10 to 5 here. I'm gonna keep pushing through.
Lives forever.
Ow.
His name is Campo Elias Delgado, and he will forever be known.
Okay, needs to fix that.
As the man who committed the Pizzetto massacre.
Right, so there is a section here that I need to put a clip in for. Sorry, my wife is really happy. There we go. I think this is the rest of the massacre.
He will leave the bathroom and turn this tranquil atmosphere into one of utter horror.
I don't think I have any more shots of the massacre I can put in there. Let me have a look. Here we go. Here's a restaurant. No. Here we go. Ah, here we go. Oh, no, I do have a couple of these, don't I? Don't like that. I'm thinking of redoing that shot because the revolver looks really bloody awful there. But I do like this one. I do like this shot. Okay, you're probably right. 10 to 15 years would have been a fitting punishment for him. Again, I want to say it would be, but then there are plenty of people that could make much better points. I'm sure there might be parts of the case that I'm not realizing that would make me turn around and go, yeah, screw him. But from what I have read and what I personally know from what I've researched on the case, 15, I wouldn't even say 10 to 15. I would personally say 15 would be fair. And that sucks, you know, it does suck that the fact that he made a mistake and then 15 years of his life would have been gone. But I think 5 years, just considering his action, considering he tried to get covered up, that's honestly the worst part. All right, okay, let's get this here. Okay, want to add this one here. Then that should be the last shot I need to add here. It's in black and white, so I don't need to worry about doing any adjustments. I'm actually going to split the shot. Let's keep that. Because obviously this is one long shot here for near the end of the episode, actually. There we go. I think maybe a fast film glow, I think it's called. That'd be a nice one to add here. Oh, why did my wife say Domino's? I've got I got a serious hunger on now. That's all I can think about is a pepperoni pizza. Oh. No, that won't. Okay, let's do a triple. Let's do a triple shot. One of the revolver, one of Maribel, I believe that was. She actually, in the uncut version of the episode, I'm going to be following Maribel and her husband, who was a military colonel and sadly lost his life to Campo. But I'm going to be following their perspective in the uncut version to give a little bit more of an in-depth look at what happened. And it's bizarre. If you look at a lot of the papers, a lot of people claimed that her husband, I want to say Alvaro, I might have gotten that wrong. I've got the script around. I need to take a double check because I can't remember his name. However, the colonel, let's just call him the military man or the colonel, what actually ended up happening was when Campo first started firing, he stood up. He took cover, flipped the table, took cover, pulled out his own sidearm, and when Campo had his back to him to execute someone else, he stood up and went to shoot Campo and end the massacre early. And what ended up happening was his gun jammed. Of all things, keep in mind that the couple had already been umming and ahhing about even going to the restaurant in the first place, but Maribel's husband was adamant that she tries out the fish casserole, the seafood casserole that the restaurant apparently was famous for. And I think 3 times they were not going to go that night, all in the case of an hour before turning up. But yeah, as I say, his weapon jammed, and then after that, he ended up tackling Campo along with a doctor to pin him down, but then Campo ended up firing rounds into their chest, and then he ended up executing Maribel in front of her husband, but she survived. She ended up surviving the round to her head, which is just amazing considering, but then also incredibly sad that she had to watch her husband die. Alright, okay, so we got that shot, and now I want the long shot of them two together, which is further on there. Cauliflower crust pizza is where it's at. I've never had it. I like cauliflower, but that does not sound appealing to me. So I don't like stuffed crust. It's yeah. Same with pineapple on pizza. You just, no, you're a psychopath if you have pineapple on pizza. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this should, if I get the effects in, I can have a quick look. Oh, my nose. There we go. So, no, not that one. We want this one. Bada boom. Bada boom. Bada boom.
Of utter horror.
Why'd that start with?
Utter horror. Utter horror.
There we go.
And change their lives forever.
Right, that needs to last
And change their lives.
about the same length. So if we go like that, I can then put it there, go like that, and just like that, we've got exactly the same length. Oh, sorry, my arse has gone numb. My chair is not exactly the most comfortable. I love pineapple on pizza too. Well, Mr. Math Deity, you've just outed yourself. Psychopath. Oh, sorry. There we go. So you're just a cheese pepperoni guy? No, I've got a very strong spice palate. I absolutely adore spicy food. Excuse me. So I do traditionally love having, jalapenos, whatever, anything like that I can get on the pizza. But for some reason, the Domino's pepperoni is just, it's just so classic and too good to screw around with. So I enjoy it. Let's see. Uncut version will be too gruesome. Then yeah, the uncut version of Pizzetto will feature obviously scenes that are a bit much. Obviously, I tried to make it respectful as much as I can, but on the same hand, I personally don't feel like these events should be sugar coated, because let's be honest, I find sugar coating it to be a little bit more insulting. But the uncut version is also going to delve into a few parts of Campo's life that for the normal version, I didn't deem too important, but they still give you a much clearer picture of maybe why it happened. And as I say, it also follows the point of view of Maribel, and it will also contain a few. I'll have to see. I'll have to know by when I do part 2. But there is a almost what if scenario that maybe happened with Campo. Just to give you an overview, there was an 11-year-old girl whose name escapes me, who was obviously at the restaurant during the time. And according to her, just as Campo came to the end of the massacre, if you don't know how it ends with the police storming the building and opening fire. But the problem is, there is some reports that the police actually increased to the amount of people that died because of they didn't go with any tactical decision. They just went in and just completely opened fire. But according to this 11-year-old girl, Campo wasn't actually killed by the police. In fact, according to her, he killed himself. But before he'd done it, he apparently turned around, looked at her, and said, "I am Legion." Now that I don't know. According to other statements, this didn't happen, and I've seen the photograph of Campo after he's been taken out, and excuse me, he has 2 bullet wounds in the chest. He does have one in his temple, but that can easily be explained because the police ended up pretty much surrounding him. And from what I understand, 95% of people say he didn't end his own life. So yeah, it's one of them situations that I think I'll add in just as an anecdote, like saying, this apparently happened. But again, I think that is more of a situation that comes from the book and the film rather than the actual event. But I don't know. We'll have to have a see. I have to do a little bit more research into that. Right, how's this one looking? I will admit, it's very awkward to talk about these situations because not because I don't like to, but because I keep waiting for YouTube to turn around and go, "You cannot talk about these matters live." Okay, I think what am I doing here? No, wrong one. This one. That's the one. Okay.
Horror and change their life.
Whoa, don't like that.
Change.
Oh, that's awful. What is... Oh, that's what's happening. Oh, God, no, don't do that. Effect controls. What do you think? Did Pablo Escobar take his own life or was he killed by police? Well, apparently the bullet went through one ear and out the other, didn't it? And obviously there's that famous conspiracy theory that he was taken out by Delta Force. I don't know. I personally think he was taken out by the police, and people wanted to carry on his legend in some ways, kind of like a Robin Hood figure, that he wouldn't go down by, you know, unless by his own hands, because it was Pablo Escobar. But I personally think he was taken out by the police. What do you say, sniper? At least Peter Curtin paid for his crime, does Kim Dae-han. I kind of feel bad for Peter Curtin. Don't feel bad for Curtin. At least not in his later years. I will always say to people, I have sympathy for people like Chase and so on at the beginning, okay? From their early years. But as soon as they start to commit really horrendous acts and no one steps in to help them, well, sorry, not no one steps in. When they start committing horrendous acts and they don't seek help or anything along them lines, that's when my sympathy wavers and gone. He was like a Robin Hood figure. Yeah, for some reason people look up to Pablo Escobar's a Robin Hood figure, despite the fact the reason he was looking after the poor was to help him politically. That was the only reason. As soon as he was out of the political running, he done very little. Sure, he ended up giving a bit of money here and there, but that's because he was basically just making them work for him as spies. It was quite a clear image of why he was doing it, but hey, whatever. Whatever.
And change their lives forever.
And then last one here.
Forever.
Ow. Okay. But yeah, as I say, with a lot of these people I research, there is a level of sympathy for them when they are a child and they go through a traumatic abuse, because obviously at that point in their life they are not a monster at all. And then things happen, you know, they either don't get the help that is needed, or they, I don't know, just something out of their control makes them do something, or doesn't even force their hand sometimes. And at that point, when, for example, if they take their first life, or even when it comes to them hurting animals, that's where I'm sitting there going, okay, no, I'm sorry, I can't feel for you here anymore. So with Richard Chase, even when he was hurting the animals in the forest, I was still sitting there kind of going, I still feel kind of bad, because a parent should have been able to spot this type of behavior and stepped in, and he shouldn't have fallen through the system. But then it almost becomes to the case of where I don't think you could have really stepped in at that point, because he was doing it so much and getting such an exhilaration from it that it was far too late, at least in my opinion. As I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I'm sure a professional could turn around and say, no, they can unlearn that behavior and live a happy, normal life. But I think at that point in Chase's life already, it was already in stone. He'd already basically put them connections in with violence and sex. So who knows? All right, I think, to be honest, this intro is going to be done. I just need to add in a few more atmospheric effects.
How the restaurant isn't exactly overflowing with customers, he allows the man to move to table number 20. The man takes his seat, placing the black executive briefcase beside the chair, and with a calm demeanor thanks Alfonso. After making sure the man has ordered everything he wants, the waiter comments how good it is to see him again, and walks away to hand in the order.
Bloody hell, that was a loud one.
Alfonso and the 40 other diners don't know this, but the man currently sitting at table number 20 has already taken the lives of at least 8.
Let's do that.
Number 20 has already taken the lives of at least 8 people and is currently carrying.
Yeah, let's do a couple of fast film glows through these. I'll add in some sound effects later.
Number 20 has already taken the lives of at least 8 people and is currently carrying a .32 caliber revolver and 500 rounds of ammunition in his briefcase. In the next few hours, he will leave the bathroom and turn this tranquil.
Let's go for that bit again.
20 has already taken the lives of at least 8 people and is currently carrying a .32 caliber revolver and 500 rounds of ammunition in his briefcase. In the next few hours, he will leave the bathroom and turn this tranquil atmosphere into one of utter horror.
Yeah, I need to add these in because otherwise it will look weird continuity-wise.
Few hours, he will leave the bathroom and turn this tranquil atmosphere into one of utter horror and change their lives forever.
Thinking of fade out and fade in here. Sorry, I think I would agree if his father, Richard Chase's father, I would have sternly punished him and gotten him help. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I'm not sure if Richard Chase was one of the rare adolescents to show signs of schizophrenia at a very young age, because from what I understand, it doesn't normally develop until you're in your 20s, or at least around about 18. And very, very rarely in children. But I think with Richard Chase, I believe it started to develop early, which is awful. It's an awful, awful mental illness. And I feel so bad for people that get it, and for people that end up, because for some reason you say schizophrenia and people suddenly think, oh, you know, they're not a monster. They're not a monster at all. In fact, very, very few people, very, 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 very small percentage, like a tiny percentage of people with schizophrenia are violent. If anything, they're more victims of violence. And I've seen it so many times where people act like people who have schizophrenia are, for some reason, going to go out and do these terrible things. And I get so frustrated because come on, it's not the Dark Ages anymore, seriously. And the other main issue you got to remember with Chase, because it was taking place in the 60s and the 70s, psychopharmaceutical drugs at the time were still in their infancy. They were still not quite around yet. By the time he did start getting medicated, however, it started to show improvement into his life, which was fantastic. And then his mother stepped in and decided to get him off the medication. And obviously he already had learned behaviors at this point that it was a lost cause, I'm afraid. It was like he was destined to do it. But yeah, I just get so annoyed when people treat people with schizophrenia like that. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting to me. Right, my wife will be home soon. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep working until my wife arrives. And then after that, I'm going to take a break for a while by having a Domino's pizza. And then I will come back a little later tonight and I will carry on editing live. But I'm going to keep going for a little bit now. She, obviously, as soon as she comes through the door, I will stop there. But I want to get through this section on this part. And then tonight we'll get through all the way up to there. And I might even do the artwork tonight as well. But might as well have a live stream day.
Forever. His name.
I need a fade in, fade out.
His name is Cam.
I'm just going to quickly do that. Ah, bloody audio glitch is awful. Can I fade that in? Will that do any difference? Yeah, that makes some difference. Okay, might do this. It's not so deafening in the bloody ears.
Forever. His name is Campo Elias Delgado, and he will forever be known as the man who committed the Pizzetto massacre.
Alright, that's where we want the last fast film glow there. Right, okay, so I do need to add in some atmosphere and also my transition sound effects. Other than that, I believe I can get most of this pretty much tied up. Right, okay, let's get some restaurant sound effects. Oh, I just realized I really need to go for a wee-wee. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Right, let's see. I was looking for restaurant atmospheric music, wasn't I? Sound effects it. Right. You've now got to watch me try to spell restaurant. I'm dyslexic, so this is gonna be interesting. Restaurant. Oh my god, this is gonna be painful. Jesus Christ. Diner, screw it. I'm sure. There it is. Okay. That one will do. No, that one. Okay. See, I want to get this. No, not that. Oh, yeah.
Diners tonight, from families coming out for luxurious.
Oh god, that's bloody loud. No. Sound effects.
Meals, couples celebrating their anniversaries, and businessmen trying to
That's still really loud.
shake hands on important
About 22 should do it.
deals over fine wine. The sound of clinking glasses and soft chatter make for a relaxed setting for this building nestled in the beating heart of the city, but that is soon to change.
Can we fade you in so you don't blow my ears off? There.
Waiter Alfonso Guaname.
Let's pull that back a little. Ow.
Waiter Alfonso Guaname has just finished giving a ticket order to the kitchen staff and is enjoying the more peaceful night. After waiting on some other tables, he begins chatting with the other members of staff. He's noticed how some of them seem to be hovering around the bar where the match can be seen playing on a small TV when he hears the usual sound of the restaurant door open. He's surprised. The man who has just walked in hasn't been to Pizzetto's in over a year. The elegant grey suit, briefcase, as well as the man's stature make him look quite refined, and the sanguine look he wears causes Alfonso to approach the gentleman with an unconscious smile. After some small talk, the waiter guides him through to the seating area to what used to be his usual spot of table number 5. Sitting down, the man orders a rather expensive meal consisting of spaghetti bolognese and a Colombian brand cola from their menu, but he also requests if tonight, instead of sitting at his usual spot, if it is possible he can be moved closer to the bar. Alfonso, wanting to make sure all of his patrons are happy and seeing how the restaurant isn't exactly overflowing with customers, he allows the man.
Alright, let's get that on a slight loop.
Wanting to make sure all of his patrons are happy and seeing how the restaurant isn't exactly overflowing with customers, he allows the man to move to table number 20. The man takes his seat, placing the black executive briefcase beside the chair, and with a calm demeanor thanks Alfonso. After making sure the man has ordered everything he wants, the waiter comments how good it is to see him again and walks away to hand in the order.
Okay, let's fade you out because I don't think that will work with the next shot. Let's try and fade it out to around about the music cue. There we go. Bloody hell, that was a bad one.
And the 40 other diners don't know this, But the man currently sitting at table number 20 has already taken the lives of at least 8 people and is currently carrying a .32 caliber revolver and 500 rounds of ammunition in his briefcase. In the next few hours, he will leave the bathroom and turn this tranquil atmosphere into one of utter horror and change their lives forever.
I like these 2 shots, but I feel like I'll adjust that a little later.
His name is Campo Elias Delgado, and he will forever be known as the man who committed the Pizzetto massacre.
Right, okay, looking at this, I would say that with a tiny little bit more work to do on there, that will put me... I need to actually go through and add in all the lovely Patreons who subscribe to me. Hey Drew, I was literally just about to say I'm preparing to wrap up because my wife will be home in a few minutes. But what I'm going to do, I would say we've got about almost 6 minutes of the footage done, and the episode's going to be about 15 minutes, or at least part 1 is anyway. I'm going to stop in a second, and I will be back in about maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. What program are you using to make the video? I am using Premiere Pro. I used to use Sony Vegas on my gaming stuff, but I couldn't get used to it. But yeah, so I'm 6 minutes, coming up to 6 minutes into the edit, or at least 6 minutes of the footage is mostly done. I could probably do a couple of little tweaks here and there, and obviously add in the shots there and whatever else. And then when I get back, my plan is to get through to here. So yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you anyone and everyone who has joined. It's been quite nice to actually show the process, and I hope in some ways you can kind of see what I do and why I smash my head against the wall, because I keep getting my ears blown off. And I will see you in about an hour and an hour and a half. So yep, keep watching the channel and you'll see me arrive. Jesus Christ, I swear I can talk. I'm hungry, I'm sorry. Right, I'll catch you all guys in about an hour and a half. See you soon.